Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by Wadid here for game number 2 of Gen.G versus Afreeca. Wadid, are we going to get more of these pauses moving into the game? What do you reckon?
I hope not, because I'm getting tired, you know? Because it's already been really a long game, Series 1.
Yeah.
And, I mean, game 2 was pretty fun to watch, because actually Genji prepared some new kind of stuffs with Zillion pick and then Yumi. So it was really interesting to watch how Genji plays out after them seeing T1 plays so much better than round 1.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that there's actually some pressure on Gen.G that you wouldn't expect, you know, even though they are like 10-1, feeling really, really good. They're looking at T1 thinking like, damn, like when it comes to the finals, are we going to be able to take this team down? And I don't know what the answer to that one is, because they already lost to T1 in the first round. T1 just, they've lost weird games, right? Like losing to Hanwha was so strange in their first match, and then they were able to turn it around, right? But they drop a random match to Afreeca as well. So you see Gen.G as being in the lead, but they've lost to T1.
Oh.
And so it is dangerous. So Rascal is going to pick up player of the game. That was my vote. What was your vote for, Wadid?
I voted for Cleed because his engage was pretty great. But I think every single member deserves the POG for this game.
I think it was a really good team game. I think you're exactly right. So one of those where it doesn't really matter who you vote for, it's always going to seem like a good idea. As even Life here with the final chapter was fantastic, able to taxi over onto Rascal there as well. But the 4-man facebreaker and then walks on back after Life, heals him back up again and gets another 2-man. Just, oh man, so good.
Yeah. I mean, when I see Rascal just jumping in, some sets are just jumping in for no reason, but all the time he was synergizing with his jungler, which is great engage tool either. And then on top of it, they had Yumi on it, so it looked really great. Yeah.
And did you notice that you're the only one? You were the only Clid voter.
I mean, as support, it's really great to have great jungler to get the vision control. I mean, especially.
Oh, that's true. So this is for your solo queue, is it? So after solo queue, now all of the junglers are like, oh yeah, I've got Wadid on my team, so I'm happy now because he always votes for the junglers for player of the game, and you'll get better solo queue experiences.
Especially, you know, when you're playing Yumi, you want tanky and smart jungler, cause if your jungler is just throwing out the game, then you're gonna have bad KDA either, you know. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why
the idea is to make the rest of your team as happy as possible, no matter what's going on. That's the dream strategy. Sky Williams has a brilliant video on exactly that from like 5 years ago, and I don't know why I still remember it, but it's brilliant. Just discussing basically the psychology of solo queue and how to win without actually being good. It's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving into game number 2, and I'm expecting to see a very different composition out from Afreeca, because we saw that Spirit is out, Dread is back in, like you were expecting, and it is going to change the playstyle of this team a little bit, although Spirit was very aggressive in the early game in game 1, so it did have a bit of a Dread feel anyway, but he'll probably be playing something very different.
I mean, last game he played Sejuani. We expected Spirit to play Sejuani more, but last time Dread just picked up Sejuani and played. I mean, still he played aggressive, but I want to see some more aggressive picks like Graves, you know, Face Rush Graves.
Yeah.
He's a meta right now, so I don't know. Still, it's really rough to play against BDD and Clade. When you compare jungler, always mid laner matters. So he is good jungler to get the leads with the invades. But still, I think Clade has BDD. So Fly really need to step up for Afreeca Freecs if they want to get the win.
Yeah, let's see whether Fly can actually do that. So far in solo queue, just having a look over at what Dread's been doing. He's played a few games of Graves. I think he's on that hype train just a little bit, but hasn't been winning too much. But he's 6 out of 7 on Lee Sin these days, so maybe we'll see the Dread Lee Sin moving in. But only time will tell based on that one. And I think we're expecting quite a few jungle bans, just because Clid has such a huge champion pool. It basically doesn't matter what he's playing. He was actually very vocal about that in his last interview, just saying like, it doesn't matter what champion I'm on, I'm just always going to be confident.
Ooh.
So it's hard to ban him out when his opposition might have a thinner champion pool, which often does happen.
I mean, I think Genji really wants him to play Sejuani, not like Elise or Rek'Sai kind of champion, which is he can play more comfort on it. But still, even if he plays aggressive picks, I don't think right now Fly can help him enough to play against Cleed and BDD. So we'll see. I mean, today it feels like Keen and Mystic, both players are playing well. So if they can manage out to get a great early lead into great team fight positioning with great team composition, then I think it was kind of close to compete against Genji. Even in last game, they got really great lead until like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think that Afreeca were on track, right? They were figuring it out, but by the time it ticked over to like 15 minutes, the lead was slowly like not being as relevant as it was in the earlier stages, and then they lose a team fight and it feels like things are over. But even though it felt really inevitable at the end that everything was going to go Genji's way, there was still just one moment that Afreeca messed up, and that's what caused it. So this is still very, very close. And the reason why we're taking a little while getting into this game, by the way, guys, is that we're double checking to make sure that the server is stable. Fortunately for Wadid, he's not on camera just yet.
Oh, thank God.
We'll see whether we get that one out in the next little while if this pause continues.
Oh, man.
As this is just what happens. The thing is, like, we haven't actually started the game, so it's not technically a pause. It's just a delay.
I mean, it's not
so
long
I
issue,
think that
right?
sounds
I
better,
hope
right?
not, because it's always me then. People are gonna just blame me because what?
Well, I mean, Casterjun already blames me. Have I told you about this? You know the Casterjun curse, which is he always gets the 3-game series. Well, as soon as I joined the LCK, he started to blame me for the really long series. That's how it went. Yeah. So he like took his curse and was like, "Oh, there's a new guy. It's your curse now," and he blames me every time. Frustrating. But Sunke is the king of 2-0s, so we might have a short day, as theoretically Gen.G should be winning this game, but they have to actually do it on the Rift as we get into Champion Select, Elise and the Ornn both banned, Senna and Azir banned on Afreeca's side. Aphelios is still open, Kalista is still open. A lot of key picks still up.
I think even elementary school student can predict LCK drafts right now. It's really simple and repeating.
Although
new...
there is still too much Aatrox.
Oh yeah.
Still too much Aatrox.
Still similar bans and nothing new. Maybe Kalista is gonna be open and Virus. At least one card is gonna get open here.
Well, I mean, Kalista, Varus, and Aphelios are all open. So both teams are gonna get one of them, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see who it's going to be. As out of those three, who's the first pick champion that you lock down? Is it the Kalista? Carrick is banned. Oh my god.
So lane Kalista or no? Or Aphelios?
It looks like Gen.G are thinking about Aphelios as the first pick. This would be on the Dragon X line of thinking. They like to prioritize this over everything else. There's now Afreeca. They can lock away the Kalista if they would like to. Caitlyn is going to be there as sort of a in-lane answer. And we know Mystic is very, very good at Caitlyn, but it would be an interesting pickup considering the fact that there are two very strong AD carries also available.
I mean, they still have great picks like Varus and Kalista. And this can be both Kalista, but normally you match with Taric and go Taric Kalista bot lane. So we'll see if it's gonna be Keen top Kalista. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, me too. Can work as an answer to Set, but Set is banned this game. As Clid thinking about his Rek'Sai. Two early game jungler opportunities, but Clid very famous for this champion, and he's going to lock it away.
I mean, they knew how to play against Kalista and locking in Zoe. They have already really, really strong mid jungle right here.
Yeah. And actually, they synergize so well because you use the Tremor Sense and then BDD can line up his Trouble Bubbles through the walls. Oh man, so good. And you can imagine that Afreeca are now trying to figure out exactly what they need to do to try and mitigate it. Right now, they're thinking about their bottom lane.
Alista?
Yeah, Alistair coming in. This is the second one we've seen in a little while. I believe we saw an Alistair a couple of days ago, but hasn't really been in the meta so far for 2020. And with the Fate's Call availability, this means that Jelly will be able to do a whole lot of different stuff on this Alistair pick.
It's probably gonna be Kalista and Alista combo on the both side.
Yep.
It reminds me like few years ago when
the Kalista, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The duo lane.
Alista, yeah, exactly. It's really great for Alista to have one more back out tool for him, because normally it's similar with Leona that you go in and if you have no ulti then you get melted down, but you have Kalista right now, so it has great combo right there. So they're banning Morgana for Alista right now.
And now Afreeca thinking about their next ban. It might be another support style ban as Braum is taken away. Now Gen.G, a final option for them as well. Currently they're trying to make sure that Fly is as uncomfortable as possible. His Rumble is taken away. Might be Pantheon to be banned next. Fly does like to default to that one, and so far Afreeca's comp is very mid-game. But we'll see. 6 seconds to go. Gen.G are really thinking about this.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned it's really great to just target ban against Fly, because mainly weak point is really great to snipe ban against their team, and especially Fly is one of the worst performer in Afreeca Freecs right now. So he is picking Renekton. It might be just mid and play against Zoe.
Well, they will need some magic damage in this composition. Currently, they have basically 0, unless you count Dominus and Alistair damage, but they're not really going to register there. So we're expecting Fly to take some sort of caster in the mid lane. I would assume Orianna. It's just what I'm assuming from Fly.
I think Syndra can be really great here either.
Yeah, that could work too. As now Gen.G, they lock away the Akali, and there's Tahm Kench to be paired with Ruler. Life, one of our better Tahm Kench players, we have to admit, even though we don't necessarily like Tahm Kench at the moment. He's been certainly nerfed to hell so far, but still sees a lot of play and was pretty pivotal in the last game in Jelly's hands. Now, is it going to be Syndra or is it Orianna is the question, or is it going to be mid Renekton? Keen thinking about his cannon one more time. How the heck does a Renekton lane into a Zoe? Did help me.
You just need to one-shot it by one combo with your jungler. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit by Zoe's auto attack all the time, and he's gonna push lane earlier than you and move to the other lane, and you might hear mid difference GGFF.
Oh no. Well, thankfully this isn't solo queue, so theoretically these guys shouldn't be flaming each other. But yeah, that can be a very dangerous lane for the Renekton. And the problem is, right, is that you put Renekton in an awful lane like that, he already doesn't scale into the late game, so you feel bad instantly as soon as you're not ahead in the early game. So this is going to be a rough one. It might be that Keen is just going to play the cannon in mid or something like that, but I wouldn't expect so. I could imagine that Keen wants to try and run over the top of Rascal, who was one of our Akali players, even back when he was on Kingzone last season. He was certainly a very, very strong top lane Akali player. This was when Akali was very strong, of course, but he is one of our Akali fans.
True. And some Akali players are saying that it's even better to have lower cooldown, even if you cannot escape with the first ulti. So we'll see if Raskar is good Akali player. I mean, he showed sometimes, even after the patch. And I just want to spotlight more on the BDD and Cleed. They have really, really strong early game champion picks, right? So I don't know how they can play against those champions, but still, Renekton Jarvan, for sure they can one-shot Zoe with the flash combo. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be on Afreeca to continue to get early game advantages, but this time Gen.G can fight back a whole lot sooner than they were able to with their last composition. Very interesting to watch. As we get onto the Rift, here it is, game number 2. Afreeca has to win this. to try and challenge Gen.G and move themselves up the west side of the bracket. Remember, things are really, really close between especially Afreeca and Dragon X. So a win here for Afreeca is just huge to increase their chances in the playoffs.
Then they can compete to top 3, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Winning Genji means so... winning Genji means so much. So they just need to get win here. At least similar gameplay as game 1.
And even a 2-1 victory, even a 2-1 loss is actually like better than nothing, right? Like winning any games here is just huge because increasing your point score is huge when you've got teams that are so close, right?
Yep.
And so having those extra points is going to be really, really crucial. So let's see whether Afreeca can do it. So far, Fly in the mid lane is keyed into having a rough time is what we're expecting, but maybe he can surprise us. As BDD Zoe is very, very good. We have to remember that as well.
And Afreeca was red side, right? So they could definitely counterpick mid. And Fly's choice was Renekton against Zoe. So he must show that he picked Renekton into Zoe because of this reason. Otherwise, I can say it again that Fly is performing bad. So I just want to see Fly performing great against one of the best mid laner in LCK, BDD.
Well, he's already set up for not success. So if he can win here, then it's even more impressive, right? But currently he's getting zoned as we were expecting. This isn't Fly's fault, by the way. It's just how the lane works. It's just not fun for the Renekton in any way. And he's even got teleport, right? He's already sort of conceded this lane almost entirely. As BDD's just getting so much harassment here. He's just completely unchallenged.
At least BDD got cleans for the first bubble, because all the time he's getting a redemption for the first bubble, somehow. So I was like analyzing why BDD is getting redemption all the time. Maybe he...
That's because better mid laners get redemption more. That's just how it works.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how Zoe players calculate it, I think. Because Jelly has first rotation over here, but Kid does want to steal this one away. Oh no, yeah, Dread just about has it back available, doesn't get it in time. That's a 3-buff start, I believe, for Clid.
This is mid-jungle synergy and mid-jungle Ollie Priya that we were talking about, and this is excellent.
Big knock-up. Dread gets a little bit of health back with the smite, but he'll lose his Gromp as well. Or at least has to spend a whole lot more time taking it down as Dread moves on back, but Clid has a huge health advantage. Another tunnel in, and Dread, what are you doing? First blood is going to go down. Life just licks the Jarvan to death, and maybe they'll get themselves some beef as well, but no, Jelly's going to flash away and keeps himself alive.
I mean, what was that? He just
I don't know.
Literally ran
into. He just really wanted the frog. He really wanted the frog.
I mean, he just ran into it, and oh my god. I mean, I can understand that he's already behind, so he really don't want to give up some objectives. But yeah, I mean, he just gave a free kill, and this is really, really huge for the Afreeca, because if you are behind as Jarvan against Rek'Sai, then you have to farm until like 20 minutes to be useful again, because you are frontline.
And also, you're going to lose all of your jungle, because Clid is just going to be inside your jungle, taking away all of your camps, because if you have a lead as Rek'Sai, you can just bully your opponent forever. Oh man, it is really scary. Anyway, Dread moves on over to the top lane. Rift Scuttler will be able to take that one down, as you can see just there, and his Krugs are available as well. So see whether Dread can salvage this game, but already feeling like Clid has all of the control. And it's all based on BDD being able to keep this wave completely shoved in. Oh my god, that knock-up was very, very large. As Jelly is going to go down extraordinarily low very, very quickly. Ruler picks up the kill, and Mystic can't answer back whatsoever. Clid is just everywhere on this map right now.
That was perfect timing by Clid, by the way. Because Jelly could actually block Clid and get some tower shots and maybe get some kills, but wow, Clid. He did it.
Yeah, gets the knock-up exactly in time as the headbutt was coming forward, you're right. And the most gigantic knock-up that we've ever seen. That was very, very strange, but I liked it.
Yeah. And as I said, he's getting... Fly is getting pushed all the time. And he cannot 1v1 one-shot at this timing. because BDD has cleanse, right? And he has no ignite either. So he needs Dread, which is behind right now, but yeah, they got cleanse.
Yeah. So the cleanse does come out. Bubble is going to go off here and a fair bit of damage. Oh no. Dread not going to take too much. BDD opting in to try and kill some minions. But without cleanse, it means that Dread can come back and try and get a kill here. Wasn't badly played by Fly, by all means. As now Keen in trouble. Rascal looking for him. Will have the 5-point strike. Extra movement speed from the Shroud, but can't quite get the kill. And Keen can just teleport back to this lane, and he has a 21 CS advantage. You might look at that and think that the cannon was behind. That's not true. He was just looking for a back.
Yep. Rascal already reset and TP'd back, so he wanted to block Keen. And
whoa. Okay, switch positions there as Clit is going to pick up the dragon for himself. Oh my god, it's a disaster for Afreeca. That was super weird.
Wow.
Okay, well, Keen teleported in and they got nothing.
I don't know what is happening in every single game. It's really hard to commentate here.
That was very funny.
Yeah? They just switched the side and gave up the Drake. Dread is giving everything to Clit. Like, here, he just ran in and gave up the kill, and after that, he just leashed Drake and gave up to Clit. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, whose team is he on? Well, right now, Clit is very happy with how things have been going. Clit has just been everywhere on this map. Thank you, Jonah Strong, for the amazing observing of the biggest knock-up in history.
Oh man, this is so great.
This is a fun game. But things need to change for Afreeca, as the change they've decided to do is moving Fly into the top lane so that he can possibly get some farm. Keen here as well, but Fly was just picking up a minion wave while Keen was missing. And thankfully for Fly, he's actually able to get some farm on this map. He's sitting at 51. He's not doing too badly, but BDD still has that advantage, and he will move into the mid game very, very strong. Lost chapter almost completed. And yeah, this is not the same game as last one. It's not Afreeca needs to keep putting on the pressure.
Yep.
It's Genji with a composition that can still go toe-to-toe in the earlier stages. So they are powering up for these 2-item spikes that they're going to find, and it's going to be very scary. BDD 4-0 on the Zoe. Not bad.
He never lost on the Zoe and Clit. Clit on Rex side.
Well, I mean, they haven't lost very much in general.
Yeah, true.
So far this season. So it's only Rascal with the one Akali loss, but still with a 75% win rate. Not bad at all.
First pick, mid jungle.
That doesn't seem good.
I mean, they're still
First
fine.
time. Yeah. Wow. That's actually really interesting that Dread hasn't played Jarvan so far this season.
I mean, he
certainly has been a very popular pick.
he preferred more aggressive picks than Jarvan. Jarvan is some kind of control champion more than aggressive champion, right? So
yeah,
that's why I really wanted to see mid 2v2 this game, especially when you're playing Renekton. You have target CC against the little cute caster. So they're moving together. Still, this is great to push out when they're doing heaven. And
not too bad from Afreeca to stop it though. So they are able to move Clit away from Shelly over there. Keen up here towards the top side should continue to have control, but not doing too badly as Rascal is down by about 20 CS, so it's not the greatest laning phase thus far. The Akali should be able to do her job as this game goes on.
And also on top of it, as Kalista, you must win lane. I mean,
oh yeah, true.
They're losing 20 CS, so this is not great news for Afreeca Freecs in general. Normally when you think about Kalista, you should win lane. And then Aphelios, yes, it's really strong champion, but in lane, it might be a little playable against that champion. But right now it seems like Rolla is having more fun time.
Oh yeah, he's having a real good time. As a couple of plates are going to go down here for Afreeca bottom side. Rolla missed out on a few creeps. So Mystic able to balance things back out again, but still 15 CS is going to be the lead for Ruler, despite spending a lot of time out of lane and without life. Now with the Crescendum and the Calibrum, a lot of extra damage potentials from very high range with this combo, but he's running out of bullets for his Calibrum. And a bit of a back timing maybe being considered by Mystic, but just wanting to wait for this minion wave to crash, and they're going to lose. Oh, no. No, the cannon minion. Yeah, okay, not even going to get cannon experience. That's real sad.
I mean, Afreeca still has really great comp to play skirmishes with Kalista-Lisa combo into cannon ulti. So the timing is so important. I just want to know what timing they want to fight Afreeca Freecs. Are they going to give up this Drake? I think it's going to be harder, but Aphelios has BF sword. So that's maybe the reason why Afreeca Freecs is backing out from the Drake. But I don't see the reason for Genji to give up this Drake easily, because they have mid pressure 24/7.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah? And also they are ahead in bot lane. It's gonna be harder for Afreeca Freecs to play this game more and more.
And also you've got Clid continuing to just power farm his jungle. He's currently level 7, so even with Dread. So Dread's actually done a decent job getting back, but the Warrior enchant is done for the Rek'Sai. And she's going to be very, very powerful here this game. Dread moving on over, looking to try and clear out control vision. Jelly is in the river. And this is what Afreeca has to do. They have to move Keen if they're going to get control of the Drake area. So now Rascal is going to be able to close that gap by a lot on the top side of the map, purely because Afreeca was forced to invest more resources in controlling this area.
They need to start it, yeah. Because Keen cannot spend a lot of time here, because he's going to lose a lot. So is Jelly gonna go in here? It's good positioning. They are seeing it.
We'll see whether Jelly can get onto Ruler. Doesn't have a blast cone to get over that wall, as Afreeca looks like they are going to be able to lock down this Ocean Drake.
Oh.
Keen wants to try and get back towards topside, and they do secure the dragon. And Genji had invested a lot of wards down here, as well as another Infernal Soul here for this game. It's pretty hot and spicy here so far.
That was really good.
But Genji just have a passive lead.
I mean, that was really good sacrifice by Keen. He gave up like 2 ways, but still really great. And Clid is looking for the gank again.
Yeah, that's the flash knockup. Mystic does heal, gets himself out of the way, is now Jelly in trouble, has the ultimate, is going to use it as Ruler. Moonlight Vigil comes down, but there's the Fate's Call. He holds onto it for so long. And we'll trade it for the ultimate of the Aphelios. But now Shelly comes down. Ruler looking to try and gather all of these plates up for himself. And he will get a lot of extra money. Clid even able to grab a few of those. And the next plate is going to be picked up as well. So Gen.G, even more money in their back pockets now, moving towards a 3,000 gold lead by 13 minutes in the game.
Yeah, I want to see the gold difference between those two AD carries right now, because he's 30 CS behind right now, and he lost
that's insane.
So many plates against Roller right now. So oh, yoink!
Yep, thanks for the leash, guys, I guess. As yep, stolen out from underneath Dread entirely. He will get a Rift Scuttler, so he gets something at least, but he's an item completion behind Clid. Clid still goes back, grabs himself Ninja Tabi, so he's even further ahead. And that is the Essence Reaver completed for Ruler. He wants his Infinity Edge, and then he's going to be extraordinarily strong on this Aphelios. And we have to keep... Oh, I forgot to remember the amount of kills that Ruler got in game number 1, because we need to keep that counter going for 1,000.
Oh,
he was 8 away
that's
at the start of the last game, but he's very, very close.
Yeah. And I mean, this game, if they win it simply, Genji, then I just want to vote for Dread for this game, because he's doing so much for Genji, by the way. Like,
well, yeah, that early play was definitely not one that we wanted.
Yeah, like
in this game. That's not why you sub your jungler in. That's not how that works.
I mean,
oh dear.
He made first blood, and he made a first objective for Genji, and even blue for Rascal. So
yeah, he was leashing for the top laner of Gen.G. Really clean stuff.
Not great, not great. So he really needs to come back from this.
Yeah, it can be hard, at least mentally, to get back into a game like this, but we'll see. Dread clearing out some tunnels here, but Clid is under no pressure at all. One plate goes over to Afreeca. I don't think Mystic was actually able to pick up the bottom lane second plate. I thought he was going to get there, but not quite able to.
They're pushing together.
Yeah, 3 versus 3 here towards the bottom side, but inside track is B2D. So Afreeca, they just can't fight it.
Yeah.
As Rascal shoots Keen with his gun sword. Keen gets himself out with the lightning rush. He'll be absolutely fine, continuing to farm very well. And I mean, Keen will always win his lane, but I just don't know whether he's going to be able to control this game like he wants to here on this cannon. Genji just looked too strong right now, this stage of the game.
I think they're really on the comfort zone because they're winning all the sides. I mean, Rascal is just doing his job. Just go half-half, and BDD is not gonna die here.
Nope. Not a chance. Has the cleanse, has his flash. Even has a super soaker
GLP again. I think.
Yeah, there we go.
I think he's on that item, hype train. You know.
I think he just really likes it. Likes the super soaker.
He's really on the GLP hype train right now. Yeah, I mean it's a great item. He's making a lot of a lot of room for his team and pressuring with the only one
I actually
item.
like it for. Yeah, and for increasing the burst potential as well of the Zoe, you've got like another button that you can use to try and get that extra bit of damage out of your one-shot. So moving into the mid-game with that, plus maybe an Oblivion Orb on top of these two items, he's going to be very, very strong. As he misses a cannon creep, so that was not so good. But otherwise, he's going to be fine.
That's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a tilter. It's actually the worst part of being a caster, I think, is watching cannon minions die to not champions. So it's very, very bad. But it's okay. We deal with it. We deal with it one step at a time, you know?
So, yeah, I mean, Genji, they are ahead, though. But still, they're playing really, really safe. And this is the timing that Genji is going to be aggressive. Objective. They actually don't fight until they have the reason for the fight, you know? So...
Well, this might be the reason. As Teleport comes in from Rascal, they're looking for Mystic and Jelly, as he does get the Shuriken backflip to try and close the distance, but he can't quite get in. Headbutt, pretty good ability there from Afreeca, but he was teleporting towards this Drake anyway, so we are now going to have the 5v5 around this area.
5v5.
And they really want to pick this one up. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think Genji is a little ahead in the items, but still, Afreeca Freecs team comp is really scary, so they just need to fight well. It's kind of 50-50. Oh, but if Fly gets hit by poke, then it's not 50-50 anymore.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, Genji can control this because they have the poke options. They can soften up Afreeca, and even Rascal is finding some damage onto Keen on the bottom side, and now Genji have picked up the aggro of this dragon, gets the reset, and the River Ram continues.
And when you think about it, playing against AP Cannon, if you can see the position of the cannon, it's not scary at all. So
no, not anymore. Oh, okay. Lots of buttons being thrown out, but the Moonlight Vigil does go wide, and it looks like Afreeca want to give away this dragon, not wanting to bite off more than they can chew. So Gen.G taking control, and that's what this game feels like. It feels like Afreeca have just been bullied out of everything based on how poorly the early game went.
I mean, some people are talking about Genji is so boring to watch because they are not fighting that much. But I think because of the Genji gameplay style, they are making enemy to not fightable against them.
Yeah, they put Afreeca in a position where they just don't have any options. And I think that is the cleanest League of Legends. It might be boring, but it is just the right way to play, is to make sure that you always have the advantageous position in any sort of fight opportunity.
I mean, they're pro players. They are getting paid to play this game, you know? So they just need to play to win. So,
and that's the most important part. And right now, Afreeca are not allowed to play. It's sort of the long and short of it, is Dread looking for a possible fight opportunity, but can't quite get in there. And yeah, we've had 2 kills so far this game. There's a 4,000 gold lead for Gen.G, just because Afreeca have been shut out of so many resources.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some people are heading to watch Genji game, but I like it because I still want to be pro player. I just want to play again on stage, so it's really great to see how they rotate the map and use the pressure. It's always great. Their vision control on the both sides. Look at it. The control wards. The wards.
Oh yeah.
So great. So I just want to see the cleaning out the game against Afreeca Freecs. Because, as I said, T1 is chasing them so fast. So they
and we were talking about this before, the fact that Gen.G shouldn't be as comfortable as you might expect them to be at 10-1 at the top of the standings, because they did lose that one game to T1. They have that second round match coming up. It's going to be absolutely huge when that game happens. And I actually need to look at the schedule to see when that game is happening, because that is the one that we really need to pencil down in our calendars. because that's going to teach us a lot about how the finals are going to go, to be honest. I think that it's a pretty easy bet to say that, you know, right now, Gen.G versus T1 should be what we're expecting for the final for Spring.
Actually, I'm wondering how it's gonna be LCK finals. Is it gonna be online or?
Ooh, that's true. We don't know what the situation is going to be based on the virus, I guess. So we'll just have to play it by ear as things go on. As Dread
going in, by the way.
Knockups, but Jelly does find one of them. Yeah, Mystic immediately exhausted as he gets round the corner and cleared. Finds the knockup, but Ruler's going down very, very low. Slicing Maelstrom is gigantic and zoning out BDD and Fly from this fight. Afreeca may have just found it as the flash does come out from life. He gets himself to safety. But Afreeca have already won the fight.
I actually don't know why Rula just ran into enemy team. I actually saw this situation at game 1-2 with Miss Fortune. He just ran into enemy team, and before he just didn't die, but this time he just got one shot by Renekton combo.
Yep, and by Keen being there with a Slicing Maelstrom on top of him as well. Yeah. Just a dangerous place to fight for Gen.G at that point, and they didn't have their Akali. There was no way for Rascal to make that rotation over, so just a really silly decision from Gen.G as we have a look at it one more time.
I mean, yeah, maybe this is how you play against Gen.G, because I think Gen.G players kind of know that they have the lead, that they cannot fight, and they expect them to back out, but they shouldn't just back out to play against Gen.G. You must punish them.
Yeah, and Gen.G knew, Afreeca knew that Rascal didn't have his teleport, so they knew that they were going to have a man advantage.
So it was really unnecessary aggressiveness by Rula right there. And at the same time, Afreeca Freecs, really great engage by Dread right there.
Is this the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it is. We're there. We got the overlays on. We're all sorted out. I think Fly's PC is working, and maybe Afreeca are going to be at the power level that they need with a computer that's working for Fly.
I mean, Fly is performing really great in this game. He's 1-0-1, and also...
Hey, yeah, there we go. And pretty even on farm, too.
And also, his plays were really great into Roller's Aphelios, because he literally one-shot Aphelios. So I just want to see more aggressive plays by Fly, because he has Renekton which can push sides and move first. So
I do need to interrupt just for 1 second. We have an important question from the chat. LS, talking about the TriCast, he has an important question for you, which is, do you build Morello or Leandris?
I build Leandris.
Then you're welcome. You can join. I think this is a confirmation that you're allowed onto the broadcast for our TriCast. Confirm it. Yeah, I know I know it's pretty high.
Yeah.
LS says. All right, we're confirmed. This bottom lane outer turret is going to fall. Mystic locks that one down, and we've got Soul Point available for Gen.G, but they're moving away from the Drake pit.
I mean,
control vision for Afreeca.
Yeah, still they have really strong competition to take the team fight, but always to get the mid prior first is important for the team game.
And that is exactly what Gen.G have been able to do. Now, they now get the rotation over. Fly is going to be a little bit late here as it's going to be a 50-50. Afreeca 4 versus 5 at this particular moment as Rascal is inside the pit in his shroud.
Got it.
It is going to be Drake locked down by Afreeca. As the Rift Scuttler does also go down. Yeah, a lot of damage from Ruler from really high range. As Fly is slowed, Bubble is not going to connect as Keen skirts it very nicely. Gets shot by the sword of Rascal.
They're chasing.
But he's not going to get back. Yeah, no, they were thinking about the chase, and then they decided that that wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, good play by Afreeca Freecs. They got the Drake, and it was really close because Aphelios did tons of damage there. But they just got the Drake without any kills, so this is still great for Afreeca. But I'm seeing Kalista being behind against Aphelios so much.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? It's not what you want to see. Kalista is just so good in lane as Ruler takes away the enemy red buff as well and will move on out. Does have the 2 items that he wants for this stage of the game, as well as his Executioner's Calling to deny the healing out of the Afreeca squad. A bit of healing available for this team, but Not a massive amount.
Well, at least he got 2 items right now, so it's great.
Yeah.
And he's...
I mean, Mystic did just build his, so maybe an opportunity for a team fight here for Afreeca.
And maybe he's building QSS either. Mystic?
Ooh, potentially.
Yeah. That's why I...
Oh, third item QSS?
Yeah, that's why I'm high rating.
The dream.
Yeah, that's why I'm high rating Mystic so much. World class
So
80 carry.
Do you reckon we could can we send a message to Hybrid and just send him a picture of the QSS that Mystic's about to build?
Maybe I should. I mean, that was really shocking.
Hey, man.
Even Beryl said
it wasn't great.
that enemy AD carry didn't pick up the cleans, so it was really easy. He literally said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I only heard the bit where they were talking about Beryl's hair for 45 minutes. But that's actually really interesting because I want to know from Hybrid's perspective as to why he didn't put priority on picking up either the item or taking the cleanse. It's very, very strange. Anyway, Ruler just defending here in the mid lane. Things just slowing down as we wait for the next Infernal Drake to come up. Both of these teams on 2 Drakes, so no Infernal Soul to be coming up before the next 10 minutes does roll around. Sorry, 7.5 minutes, I guess.
I think Genji, they are really special in some kind of way because they really want to make the chance of winning at least 80% because they are not fighting because of that reason. And if they are fighting, that means Genji is gonna win most of the fight.
Well, it looks like Fly is just gonna die up here. Dominus not going to give him enough health to survive. And Void Rush is pretty good at avoiding any sort of turret aggro. So very easily take down the turret, take down the Crocodile, and extend the lead further forward.
Yeah. In some way, League is also a percentage game, right? So Genji is one of the most safest team in LCK.
Yeah, they're like, we need to take the 80% plays. Yeah. Whereas you think about teams like IG, historically, they're like, oh, is it a 45% chance that we're going to win? All right, let's take the fight. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're more like, it's 10% of winning, but I'm the shy, so I'm going in. Yeah, I won it because I'm the shy.
And then they win.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That does happen. Well, Gen.G are going to be absolutely fine here as Dread was standing on a ward. They were able to play around it, and they take down the outer and inner turret's top lane. And we'll just now look for a bit of a reset, as you can see. We want to do it from safety by the looks of things. Keen and Jelly. I mean, Afreeca does have a lot of teamfight power with this composition, but as they fall further behind, it's just harder and harder to fight front to back against what Gen.G has, especially if Gen.G can set up and then get the poke where they need it.
So they're turning that shot.
But that's a Baron being started. Yeah. All right, teleport to come in. This is going to be a 5v5 as Glit is down towards the bottom side, but you can see Afreeca do want to try and get out of the way of this one.
This doesn't look
Keen
great.
Down to half health. Jelly is low as well. Yeah, there's a flank opportunity. Bubble doesn't land though as Jelly walks by it, and Afreeca will get out to safety, but without a Baron.
At the end, they just got the TP from the Genji side, so it's great. I was really, I was really afraid them get engaged by Genji, but they didn't. So they're full HP again, so they can go to the Nashor side again.
Well, Rascal gets a little bit of poke onto Jelly, but he's going to be absolutely fine. Like you were talking about, moving straight back to this Baron, but Infernal Drake's up in 15 minutes. And Gen.G doesn't want to just go and get a Drake or anything like that because it's only going to be the third one. So they're going to try and fight for this Baron. Keen off to the side in a very good flank position. I believe out of the vision range of Gen.G as well. Skirting around the corner, Tremor Sense is going to spot him as BDD picks up an exhaust. Ruler has exhaust as well as life, by the way. They have no sort of defensive summoner spells down there unless you include exhaust in that conversation, but they don't have the heal, they don't have the cleanse.
They're just going mid.
Yeah, it looks like this inner turret is going to fall down. They're just getting out-rotated. Teleport to come in here from Fly. Rascal going down very low. He has the Shroud available as Jelly can't get into a position to try and headbutt anyone. The vision is there. Clid gets himself out. Super Soaker utilized by BDD. That's why he builds that item for the extra disengage potential. And Afreeca once again just can't find a fight.
But I think it's still great for Afreeca Freecs because of the position. They can get Drake right now, I feel like. And Genji, they still got the Drake, but they really don't want to fight because it's not 80% of chance of winning, it seems like.
Yeah, that's true. But now Soul Point is going to be in the hands of Afreeca. I wasn't expecting this to be so easy, like to play around these objectives for Afreeca, given the fact that Gen.G did have so much control. And even though they do not want to fight generally, they still do have leads. So they could just allow Afreeca to move forward. They are going to realize that and start up the Baron. So much damage. Look at Ruler. Point blank range with the Caliber. Sorry, with the Severum.
Yeah, Ziggs.
Not Severum, Caliber. The other one. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Crescendum, that's the one. Just so much damage, and they just locked down the Baron.
They literally melted down, and also Life used these Ziggs for Aphelios, so that's why they just could melt it.
Oh, wow, yeah. So they used the Abyssal Voyage, and then Ruler just does way more damage.
Wow.
Oh my
It was
God.
literally 5
an
seconds.
inhibitor turret also fell down.
Yeah. It was literally 5 seconds. I just want to see it again.
Oh, that's the 80% play.
Yeah.
That's the 80% play right there.
80% play, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Well, Rascal back in the mid lane. They will now be able to continue shoving out these minion waves. Back's coming forward. You can see Mystic. He's got a more of Malmortius now as his third item, so it wasn't actually the QSS that he decided to pick up. We'll see whether he buys that when he does get back to base. Not going to be the case. He collects himself his stopwatch. And you can see now Gen.G will be able to play around the next Infernal Drake, but not after, not before taking down more of these turrets.
Yeah, I mean,
and trying to break open the base of Afreeca.
This game, he doesn't need QSS for this game. That much?
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, if he gets hit by a bubble, then that's a bit silly as a Callisto who probably shouldn't be hit by a bubble.
And they're just slowly pushing without any fight, as usual.
Yep, it's the slowly pushing, or Gen.G for sure.
Oh, yeah.
As BDD finds a lot of poke there onto Fly. Beach balls flying around, and Gen.G take away the last remaining inner turret. 7 turrets to 3 right now. There's a lot of gold in the turrets for Gen.G here, which is why they're moving towards a 6,000 gold lead.
I mean, this is so great play by Genji. I'm not being sarcastic. They're playing really, really great. This Genji playstyle.
Yeah, super clean.
Yeah, this is super clean. This is what we wanted from LCK. Always when we were remembering back then, when LCK was stomping all the tournaments, at all the tournaments, then always they couldn't fight against LCK ever, because.
And even when they won a fight, the LCK team was just better. As now Afreeca going for a desperation fight. There's the spit out and the just escape from Ruler. Just explosion of damage onto the cannon as Dread throws down the Cataclysm. But who's trapped in where with who is BDD trying to get himself out. Rascal, so much damage on the back line. And Mystic, he gets one of the kills, but he will just be eviscerated. And that's the end of the game, guys. 2-0 for Gen.G.
This is Genji. This is LCK that we wanted for so long years, so long time.
Is this the year? Is this the time we did? Are we back on top? Is it the time for LCK to shine? Is our question. And Gen.G is trying to say yes.
Will LCK win 2020 Worlds? I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, I don't want to ask that question just yet. Just don't want to. We got MSI first. Let's try and win that one.
I mean,
we'll see what we can do. Chat's currently saying no a lot. So that's not very nice.
Yeah, I mean, still, it was not that clean though, because we've seen a lot destroying randomly.
I mean, there was that one fight that Afreeca was able to win, but after Clid got ahead in the early game, it really did feel like Afreeca didn't have many options to try and get back into the game.
Apparently, Chet is mad because of what I said. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think so.
I'm joking. I mean, Europe is playing really great, so we're just trying to follow up.
I think there's just a lot of good League of Legends across the world right now. I actually really like how close it is. It's really, really cool. We need to give a player of the game, and I think that's an easy one, isn't it?
I have to.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think you were right. Your choice for the last game is correct for this game.
Oh, really?
I think Clid played some real good League of Legends.
Oh, I did same. Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Synergy. Locked it down.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm just being influenced because you're my analyst for this series. And so I've been listening to what you've been saying, and now I'm like, oh yes, subliminal messaging. Clid needs to be the pick. He did it.
Yeah.
And now we get the Clid interview as well, which is fun. Oh, we didn't count how many kills Ruler got. I don't think he made it to 1,000. I think he's like sitting at 998 or something like that right now.
Yeah, I think so. We didn't see the subtitles during the game. If he got the 1K kills, then we could see it in the game, but nothing.
Yeah, Jisun just let me know, so he's not at 1,000 yet. I'm gonna ask her what the number is. Although she's listening, so I guess I could just ask her there. She doesn't know, so never mind. But we will keep track of it for the next Gen.G match, as we have one more series to come here today. And I'm actually, this is the one that I'm really excited about. So we're getting a little bit tired, but the cool thing is that the League of Legends is certainly going to carry us as we move towards Griffin versus DRX. Just so many stories to tell as we once again check out Dread just walking back into almost guaranteed death.
I mean, it's just so fun.
Oh,
I'm just laughing.
This is the best bit. This is the best bit. Give us the slow-mo. Woo!
I mean, it was so fun to watch this game. Really, jungle difference was pretty huge this game for Horde during the series. Yeah, this is one of the hilarious moments.
There's just some weird stuff that was happening, but honestly, it was a game about Gen.G like having a stranglehold throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And they only sacrificed objectives they were okay with sacrificing, and when they made a decision, like you were talking about, it's the 80% play.
Yeah.
And they just lock it down and they win the game. And it feels just so consistent for Gen.G. It's really scary. Really, really scary watching this team if you're any other team in the LCK that wants to try and win. They're looking pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah. And look at this. Look at this escape. Really great devour by Tom Kench and Staboch right there. Wow. Life.
And also, Kane couldn't do anything for like so long. He was knocked up, stunned, his whole health bar melted, and then eventually he flash ulted, but he had like 100 health. And so Ruler one-shot him.
I mean, Life...
It's just no options.
Yeah, Life played really, really great there, because he just debarred his AD carry and stopwatched, and right after that he just did Kalista. Wow.
Yeah.
APM.
Really nice
High
stuff.
APM.
And also, BDD did a lot of damage. That's to be expected, but on Afreeca's side, feels like Keen and Friends is upon us. And it's not what you want to see. It's a similar situation to what we thought round one Dam1 felt like. But this was not the Afreeca Freecs that we wanted to see. However, it's a very difficult match, right?
Yep.
Like up against Gen.G. I don't think any team in the LCK is expected to win unless your name's T1.
Yep.
And in that case, it's actually just a super hype matchup and you don't necessarily know who's going to win. So, just Gen.G are too strong.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
They won 8 games in a row as a team. Maybe, if I'm not wrong, this is the first time that one team got 8 wins in a row.
Oh, actually don't know about that. That might be a cool stat to check out before we get to our next series. Might have a bit of a look while I'm having my dinner. But yeah, only one loss to T1, which was in week 2 of round 1.
I mean, they're showing this so many times,
I don't think they
by the
remember
way.
what losing feels like.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon? Yeah, we have. We watched this like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that there's lots of fun stuff in this highlight package. Like some of the games, like the highlight package is like really boring because it's like maybe APK getting smashed or something like that, and it's actually just sad to watch. But this one, at least, there were just really strange things going on, which is fun.
I mean, at this point, I feel really bad about Dread, because they just showed Dread dying for no reason 5 times in a row.
Yeah, they did. Oh dear.
Oh man.
That's not what we want. That's not what you want. As I believe we've got Rascal and Clid now, as Clid picks up 8 out of 9. One of the who was it? Was it Cloud Templar? Dongjun? Who's first on the Korean caster list?
Normally it's Cloud Templar who is doing weird votes in LCK.
Well,
and he was talking
there
about,
it is. BDD. That's his one.
And he was talking about.
But we had the synergy.
Yeah.
We confirmed it. It was it's the Korean casters that are a little bit off. As we throw it over to Jisun for some interview translation.
Thank you very much, guys. Interview translation, and we'll be hearing from Raka, Clid from Gen.G with a 2-2-0 win today. Longest winning streak from Gen.G.
저희가
For the first
연습을 달리고
time.
있지만 오늘 경기에서
We
또
are, yes,
방심하지
on
않는 게
a winning
중요한 것
streak, but
같아서
it's really
연습마다
important not to put
집중하는
your
게
guards
중요하다고
down.
생각하고
So we always have to focus and do our best. Yeah, the game was not really easy at all because it was actually going back and forth. So when was the timing that you guys were able to turn the tide around?
처음에 적팀 미드 정글이
When at the first time,
어떻게 먹었는지
Somehow I
모르겠지만
stole
그렇게 먹게
that
되고 난 다음부터 운이
a
좋아가지고
Drake.
게임이
So we got a little bit
갈
lucky.
같다고 생각했던 것
So
같아요.
the game was a little bit on
지금
our
1세트,
side
2세트
starting from
말씀하신
that
것
point.
같아요. 네. 1세트는 어땠어요? 1세트.
What about game number one?
아,
라스칼 선수
1세트에서 제가
Well,
다른
game number one,
했을 때 그냥
I played J4.
아마 저희가 질리언이나 그런 후반에
Well,
갈 때 좀 좋은 픽이 있다
We had a very good
보니까
late
그냥
game
마음도
picks like
편하다
Zillion,
보니까
so
이겼던 것
we
같아요.
weren't really
상대적으로
worried in that
1세트는
game.
좀더 편안하게 좀 진행이 됐군요.
예. 라스칼 선수에게 한번
I want to
여쭤보고
ask
싶은
a
게
question
그
to
조합이 어쨌든
Rascal.
그 LCK에서 자주 등장했던 조합도 아니고 좀 독특한
So
느낌이
that was
있었잖아요.
not a typical
어떻게
LCK
발견하게
comp.
됐는지,
So how did you
그리고 또
guys
연습 과정이
come up
어땠었는지
with such
살짝만
comp,
알려줄 수
and
있을까요?
how did the practice go?
이 경기 말씀하시는 거예요?
Game number two? No, game number one.
그냥 1경기
Well,
그 이제 뭐 질리언 같은 경우는
For Jillian in game number one,
보성이가
BDD
좀 좋아하는 픽이고
kind of
그리고
prefers
저희가
it,
시간 가면은 되게
and also
저희가 훨씬 좋은 느낌이어서
we had that feeling that it's gonna be so good in late game, so we were able to play comfortably in game, you know, waiting for the time and waiting for the skill to come up.
시간 가면은
And also during the practice, there were a lot of games where we were leading in late game as well.
그것까지 돼? 예.
Well, Clay was giving Rascal his eyes,
예.
네네네네.
kind of opening some information about the practice,
라스칼 선수
but
같은 경우도 이렇게 솔직하게 얘기하고
Rascal
시원하게
was really
얘기하는
honest in
최근에
this
주목도 많이
interview,
받고 있고,
telling us
과거에
how
비해서
the practice
요즘에,
go.
국내에서 좀 가장 잘하는 탑을 얘기했을 때 현재 폼
So back
을
in the
특정을
days,
얘기했을 때
a lot of
라스칼 선수가 굉장히 많이 좀
people
거론되고 있거든요. 어떻습니까? 요즘
have
그
been
컨디션,
mentioning
이렇게
Rascal
거론되는 그
is the
부분에
best
대해서,
top
기분이
laner in
괜찮아요?
Korea.
근데
How are you
미소가
feeling
나오고
about
있는데,
that? I see you're smiling.
당연히 기분 좋고요.
Of course,
근데 이제
it feels really good.
자만하지 않고 뭐
I
아직
wouldn't
부족한
be
게
like
많으니까
overexcited. I wouldn't be
열심히 하면 될것
bossy
같아요.
방금 그 얘기를
because
왜
I have a
클리드
lot of
선수
points to
눈치를 봤죠?
improve.
왜 클리드의 눈치를
But
봤어요?
why were you looking at
지금
Clid
게임 중단인데.
when you're
예,
answering that
정글
question?
많이 보네요. 예.
왜
This
그랬어요?
is not even a game. You shouldn't be like
원래
watching out for your own
팬이
jungler.
많이 봐요. 제가 서열이 좀 낮아서
Well, I
어,
am in a very low hierarchy
무슨
in
말만
our
해도 눈치
team,
보게
so
됩니다.
I'm actually a little bit scared of
궁금한
Clid.
거는
Whatever I'm
그래서
saying, I
후배한테
just get to
풀어요?
like
일단
watch if it's feeling okay or not.
일단 그
네.
젠지 유튜브에 공개된 영상에 따르면
예.
And there was a
라스칼이 꼰대다.
예.
아, 뭐
video
이런 얘기가 나오고
uploaded on
있습니다.
Gen.G
이거
YouTube
악의적인
channel.
편집입니까?
Actually,
뭡니까?
Rascal, you
악마의
are the
편집인가요?
boomer. You are like being so
그거
strict to your
너무
like
악의적인
academy players.
편집이고
네.
그 실제로
No, that was
내가
edited in the wrong
어제도
way.
물어봤거든요.
So I actually asked our players,
내가 제일 많이 괴롭히는 형이
like,
누구냐고
who
물어봤을
bullies
때
you
일단
the most?
강민이랑
and
재혁이,
they
그다음에
answered
보성이 제가 제일
Life,
안 괴롭힌다고.
Ruler,
이거는 진짜 100% 팩트.
and BDD.
근데
So
원래 다리
I'm
사람인데 진짜
100%
부러운
sure that I
그렇게
am
해석을
the
못해요.
nicest
네.
person in our team.
아시잖아요.
그러면은 일단은 제가 더
So
잘해주겠습니다.
I will
네,
even treat
농담입니다.
them
그냥
better from
아끼는
now
장면들을
on.
영상에서 보였기 때문에 많은 팬 여러분들에게 재밌게 받아들이신 것 같네요.
That
네.
was actually
오늘도
a very
룰러
fun
선수도
content
1000K 를
from
좀
Gen.G YouTube.
목전에
You
두고
guys should check it
있었거든요.
out. And Ruler was so close to getting
알고
1,000
계셨죠?
kills in LCK.
모르셨군요. 네.
어.
아,
Well,
모르셨군요.
we weren't aware of that
아직까지 킬은 신경 안 쓰고
because
하는 것
we have to pay attention to the game results, so we are not paying attention
그러면
to the
클리드
kill
선수 뭐 그런
scores.
거 크게 신경 안 쓰시면 그래도 본인 자르반 성적 이런 거 조금 신경 쓰이시나요?
But your
살벌한데.
G4
클리드만
is
정말 말도 안 된다고
undefeated
풀리면
so
이긴다.
far, so are you kind of paying attention
아
to
근데
that?
제가 자신 있는 챔피언이기도 하고
Well,
매번
J4,
말하지만
I'm really
근데 뭐
confident in that
그렇게까지 신경은 안
champion,
쓰는
but
거고
I
저희
don't really pay
팀에서
attention to
좀
like
약간
match
그런 자신 있는
histories
픽 같은 걸 좋아하다
or
보니까 그냥
stats.
자연스럽게 하다 보니까
It's just like naturally
지면
coming
어쩔 수
out
없구나
because
생각하는 것 같아요.
I'm just feeling confident in the
그
champion.
2세트도 한번 연결해서 말씀드릴게요. 아까 전에 그 초동력학 위치 전환기 때문에
Then let's
그
check out
돼지대고 먹은 장면이 있었거든요.
the game number
있잖아요.
2
네.
where you
근데
just
그
hopped
이후도
back
뭐
into the
근처였나요?
Dragon Pit and
아,
got that Drake.
그
알리스타.
알리스타
Mountain
붙였을
Drake.
때
And
상대편이
also
좀
the
굉장히
knock
위로
of
뜨는 장면이 있었거든요.
On Alista,
그
you
스킬
had
판정 언제
네, 네.
so
원래
Alista
그렇게 되는
actually
거예요?
soared up in the sky.
원래 그 챔피언을 렉사이가 눌러놓고 있으면은
When
판정이 되게
Rek'Sai
커요.
has
그리고
his mouse
원래
on the
제가
champion, it
렉사이를
has a very
플레이했을 때
good
알리스타
hitbox
같은 거나
actually.
리신 큐
So
음파를 맞추고 날라올 때
Alista or Lee Sin
프로랭크나
Q,
그런 데에서도
number
번번이
two,
그렇게
those kind of
놀이기구를
moments
타더라고요.
actually like come up in solo queue games, like
생각했던 것 같아요.
jumping up in the sky. So I wasn't really too
네,
surprised. I
어느
kind of
순간도 놓지 않고
expected
있었다는
it.
그런 얘기네요. 오늘 그 BDD 선수와 함께 오늘 800점 하면서 POG 공동 1위가 됐습니다.
So you and BDD are
클린 선수.
the leaders of POG so
클린
far
선수의
with
사실
800
어떻게 보면 이
POG
대단한
points.
장면이 지금 시즌에 계속 연이어서 나오고 있는 셈이거든요. 이 POG 포인트를 좀 대신해서
So
말해주는 것
you're
같고
picking up a lot of
어떻습니까?
POG
이 POG
points
포인트에 대해서.
throughout the split.
일단 제가 작년에 결승에서 받아보긴
Well,
했는데
last year I did get it
아직 정규 시즌에선 받아본
at
적이
the
없어서
finals,
근데 엄청 그렇게 욕심
the
나진
MVP
않은 것
award,
같고
but
아마
never
제일 욕심 나는 건 우승인 것 같아요.
in the regular split. So,
우승에 대한
well, I
그
kind
열망
of
좀
interested
느껴집니다.
in it,
우승할 때까지
but actually
집중해. 아직 안
winning
끝났어.
as a whole
네.
matters
라고
more.
얘기를 하는 것 같습니다.
그러기 위한 가장 큰 산이 어떻게 보면 바로 다음 경기예요. 그러니까
So
지금
your upcoming
유일하게
series is
패배를
so
안겨준
important.
팀이
T1,
T1이거든요.
the only team that
근데
took
T1이
Genji
다음
down.
경기예요.
네.
두 분 다 이거 사실은 좀 뭐랄까요?
I bet
돌려주기 위해서
you
좀 벼르고
two
있을 것 같은데
are a
어떻습니까?
little bit aware of the revenge that
먼저
Genji
화가
wants,
났잖아요.
right?
아스칼 얘기들은-
상대에서 유일하게 진 상대가
Yeah, I mean
T1이기도
T1
하고,
is
네.
the only team that took
진짜
us down in
재밌기도
round 1 and
뭐
also my
솔직히
former
저희가 하던
team.
대로 하다 보니까 지금도
But
성적 잘
we
나오고 있기
focused on our
때문에
own work.
네.
We were
팀보다는
focused.
저희가 좀
we
더
were
집중해야
focusing on
되는
our own
부분이 좀 더
place.
많다고 생각하고 있어요.
So I think we actually having
지난번에
a lot of
좀
good
눌러가면서
points.
알아줬는데 락스칼 선수 눈치 보지 말고
Rascal,
약간
네.
can you
비정석스럽게 대답해
freely
주시면 좋을 것
express
같아요.
your thoughts
어떻습니까?
on that
다음 경기
series,
T1
T1
경기인데.
versus Genji or Genji versus T1?
저는 일단 벼르고 있고요.
네.
Well, I am like
일단은
preparing
1라운드
so
때
hard for it.
져가지고
We lost
지금
to T1 in
다음
round
경기
1.
꼭 이기도록 잘 준비.
We will
저는 좀
try our best
꼭
to
이겼으면
take them down
그렇습니다.
this time
분명히 프로에서
around.
이런 마음은
We
굉장히
will
중요할
make
것
it
같습니다.
happen.
두 명의 선수 다시 한번 승리 축하의 말씀드리고요. 다음 경기 T1전도
So this
기대하겠습니다.
will be the end
고맙습니다.
of the interview with
감사합니다.
Rascal Clit from Genji, and I'm gonna
네,
pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, for the interview translation, as it was great to hear from both Rascal and Clit. It's been a while since Rascal's got a player of the game. When was the last time that he got one? Do you remember?
I mean,
Woody?
I think he's getting recently a lot because a lot of people are starting to talking about how Rascal deserved his spot on the Genji's top side. So, and I'm the one of the analysts who said he's really underrated player.
Yeah, actually, I was in that camp as well. I think he was playing brilliant when he was on Kingzone before they sort of collapsed at the end of 2019. I thought that Rascal's performance was very, very strong. So good to see that he's finally getting that recognition. As you can see, Gen.G 11-1, very binary as far as their scoreline is concerned, but confirmed in that top spot, 2 matches away from T1 in second place. And now KT moves up to 4th.
Wow!
What is this?
6 wins in a row. How can they stop KT right now?
Exactly. The hype train has well and truly left the station. Everyone's excited,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's not even bad for KT if you're excited.
Wow.
Oh, so many weird champs, but it's totally fine. Everyone just understanding that it's all about KT all the time. As we are going to be going to our final match of the day, DRX versus Griffin is coming up, guys. You do not want to miss this one. It is going to be absolutely huge. And I'm really excited that I get to share it with you for one final match of the day. I reckon you can do it. More English all the time. All right, guys. Hopefully there's some Dudadunga for you in the break. We'll see you after.
See you.